Hi, I'm from Bangalore. Last December, as I was fine-tuning my thesis topic, I was looking at a rather broad idea of what is design ethos in India. It was a bit of a head-scratcher for me, but also for my professor, Alex, who kept pushing me to think of a more refined question to ask. While Googling some details on an article, I stumbled into something that quite stunned me. A street in India had been selected as an example of a world-class street design. What's more, the street was from my hometown, the city of Bangalore. The organization that had placed this high honor on our street was a Manhattan-based organization called National Association for City Transport Officials, or NACTO. It's an organization made up of street design experts and transport officials. When one thinks about good street design, it's natural to think about well-planned international cities. And it's true that about this guide also, it had this great cities giving examples on street design. And the streets of my city, Bangalore, I'm sad to say, is known more for traffic jams on potholes. The problem is so old and part of everyday life in Indian cities that it now hides in plain sight. The sidewalks too are often in such poor condition that citizens are coming up with interesting ways to draw attention to it. This YouTube video made by my friend back in Bangalore drew attention to how poor the footpaths are and that we need better footpaths or footpath beku. The aggravating situation of potholes was called out by another street artist too. With his funny and provocative art, he drew attention of the city authorities who seem to have gone oblivious to the conditions. But how much can everyday citizens draw the attention of the officials and help build the city of their own design? This is the topic I have pondered over during this program, analyzing a case for citizens who can truly impact the design of the spaces they live in. Within the next 30 years, 3 Indian cities of Mumbai, Delhi, and Kolkata will be among the 10 most populous cities in the world, with more than 35 million living in each of the cities. There is a similar urban expansion happening across the world, especially in developing countries. Cities are going to be the dominant centers of humanity. And how well the cities are going to serve the purpose will have a great impact on many aspects of modern life: health, economy, democracy, and more. Hence, we really cannot overstate the urgency to study urbanism and urban design. In my thesis, I focused on 2 case studies. First is on Janagraha, a Bangalore-based NGO promoting civic participation and consulting government agencies. And the second is on Tendershore. It's a comprehensive guideline by the same organization on how to redesign and rebuild city streets and how to coordinate all the agencies such as electricity, water, telecom, which lay their network under the streets. It's only a recent development that the design world has stepped into business design consulting, a domain that was firmly in the ambit of business consulting firms before. But in the last decade, businesses have come to acknowledge that they have much to gain from not just the science of finance and management, but also the science of design and design thinking. By the same measure, I propose that the governance and civic partnership too need to be designed for greater efficacy. Especially for governance and bureaucracy, the principles of political science may not be nimble enough in the current times of deep political flux. Getting a bit more into the details of my thesis, Janagraha is one of the 4 concerns of the parent organization Jana Urban Foundation. Over the 19 years of its existence, it has taken on several initiatives in its pursuit to create an active and dynamic civic society. Janagraha has classified its initiatives into these 4 groups. They entail specific activities under each of this group. Most of these initiatives have become quite popular across the country, and some have even gone global. The initiative, I Paid a Bribe, for example, has been adopted by over 20 countries. It was covered as a case study by Harvard Business School, and the New York Times reported back in 2012 that one of the countries that adopted this, Pakistan, reported a bribery volume of $94 billion in the past 4 years. The ability to easily report on bribe through a simple click of an app has been a revolutionary achievement in fostering civic participation, challenging a deeply entrenched systemic issue, and reinforce the faith of the citizens that their voices are being heard, that they too can make tangible impact in the governance of a society. In my second case study, I looked more closely at the process of street design itself. St. Mark's Road is a main street in the Bangalore downtown, and it was the first street designed under the Tender Show guideline. It has been hailed a huge success. Its popular appeal is such that after the success of this mere 1 kilometer street, 110 kilometers, that's approximately 70 miles of city streets have been commissioned for redesign as per this guideline. Initially, the design was controversial for taking away the streets from the cars and giving it away to the pedestrians as wider sidewalks. But now, it's become the model street and it's being promoted in over 100 cities by Government of India. Its greatest design achievement was getting all the utilities of the electricity, water, telecom streamlined under the pavement, so that the vehicle carriageway would not be affected during the maintenance work of these network lines. Another significant win of this model is that street maintenance and repair in India is under a corrupt nexus of politicians and engineering contractors, and they relay the streets almost every year. Under this new system of tender show, the streets are built to last 10 years before needing any maintenance. What now seems like an obvious and logical achievement is almost an illusion of hindsight. This huge systemic change had to endure a great deal of pushback from the government. It was the fear of unknown, of something too radical. But an active engagement by the civilians through the social media platforms and through city town halls realized the dream of what had remained merely a blueprint for several years. As I mentioned at the start of my presentation, cities are not only the inevitable destination of humankind, but also the promised land of prosperity and the cradle of future. But they are also complex beasts that won't be tamed easily to the needs of changing times. It's hard to disrupt the inertia and bring about changes, but case studies like the ones that we just discussed shows that changes are not only urgent, but also possible. In the words of a famous urban architect from Bangalore, and I quote, "I believe we have to be an irresistible force working against an immovable object. And at some point, the immovable object has to give up, and we will get a city of our dreams, a city for, by, and of the citizens." Thank you.
Give it up for Chetan.